fuck is he trying to say? All right, guys, I do have a Hump Day Wednesday morning editorial for you. Before I get to it, there's a couple of things I want to address. First, Oregon. I was reading this morning how Oregon will become the first state to decriminalize hard drugs like cocaine and heroin. So they're saying that, well, they shouldn't be given a criminal punishment. They shouldn't be treated like criminals. We treat them like sick people. So they give them sentence them into a medical health treatment program. And guess who pays for that? You do. That's right. The marijuana tax revenue, they said, could be used to supplement that program or pay for it, finance it. Use your terminology. I just say the taxpayers are going to pay for cocaine and heroin addicts to go to rehab versus going to prison. I don't know. Maybe. What do you guys think? The second thing I wanted to address is the election, of course. Now, at last check, when I looked, it was Biden 238 and Trump 213. They stopped counting last night. I think this is the first presidential election where they actually stopped counting. Went, let's call it a night, and went home. I thought you counted till the ballots were counted. I don't know. But Biden's people were saying, well, if we stopped counting right now, it looks like Vice President Joe Biden will be the next president. Well, yeah, you stop counting right now, because I was looking at it and I was looking at the percentages of each state that's still left pending. And I tabulated the electoral votes. President Trump would end up, if he gets the states he has now, he would end up hitting around 280, where Joe Biden would fall well short of the 270 needed to become president. So, yeah, they stopped counting now. No wonder they stopped counting, because President Trump is getting ready to become president again for 4 more. So I don't know. That's how it's looking. Now, as they're counting the ballots, of course, that could change. States could flip. Wisconsin and Michigan have already flipped. They were pink, looking like Trump was about to take them. They've become a light shade of blue, meaning that now they're leaning towards Democrat. I don't know. So things are changing. But still, even with what it looks like now, the projected pending states, President Trump is still on track to win. Get to my editorial. Thank you to News4Jax for this story out of Jacksonville, Florida. A former Jacksonville police officer who was already accused of sex crimes involving children is now facing additional charges after another person came forward with allegations, according to court documents. Duval County jail records show prosecutors filed an additional charge of capital sexual battery against Matthew Butler. The ex-officer was already facing 3 counts of capital sexual battery and charges of child porn and lascivious molestation. Butler was a 9-year Jacksonville Sheriff's Office veteran. When he was arrested in March of 2019, he was not eligible for bond and had previously scheduled court date in November. According to a court document, a child came forward claiming to have been assaulted while at Butler's apartment. News4Jax crime and safety expert Ken Jefferson was a former sex crimes investigator at Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Ken Jefferson says, quote, "One thing about children is when there is consistent history being given to investigators by more than one person and those stories line up, it's hard to dispute what they're saying." And because Butler was a police officer when the accusations first came to light, Jefferson said there's reason to believe lawyers for defendants arrested by Butler might try to have their clients' cases overturned on Butler's credibility, particularly if he is later convicted. Ken Jefferson said, quote, "If there were questionable arrests or defense attorneys who contested an arrest, then they will look at those cases where was a part of based on credibility issues now." I don't know what he's trying to say. According to a court document, the crimes allegedly took place between June of 2009 and December of 2015. So for 6 years, this guy was alleged to have been doing this. 6 years. And he was a Jacksonville Sheriff's Office veteran for 9 years. For 6 years. This is crazy. So even if you say, let's say he started, let's say that 2019 was his 9th year. That means as a cadet in the academy, he was alleged to have been doing this. He became a sheriff's deputy around January, not January, but 2010. That would put him in the 9-year mark. Doing this the whole time. So maybe he became a cop so that he could work with children. What do you guys think about that? We've talked about a lot. I'm going to edit this. You can talk about it in the comment section below. I'm going to get back to see what's going on with the elections. Yeah, very boring right now. They're not counting. They're having coffee and breakfast. Community Leo Watch, watching Leos, that's law enforcement officers, to include Jacksonville deputies that are kind of shady from coast to coast.